What's up, everybody? Today we're going to take a look at some of the questions that I get as comments on the channel about the villages. And of course, it's going to be my style. So let's check some out here, shall we? K&H, thank you for your comment on the page. Where does all the poo go in Florida? How does the water get treated? Whole state looks overdeveloped to me. Well, I don't know about the whole state, but I will say there's like 3 or 4 main sections of the state that are developed. You have South Florida, which is Miami. You have Central Florida, which is, I would say, Orlando to basically the villages. You have Tallahassee and Jacksonville. So South Florida, Central Florida, North Florida all have their areas. Other than that, Florida's pretty rural. If you go into the outside, not the cities, but just travel down some back roads, you're going to see some nice houses mixed with some single wide trailers, etc. There's all kinds of different houses, and there's still plenty of the Florida oaks out there if you look hard enough. I got a great comment here from Dean. Gee, those houses all look alike. Kind of like clones. Kind of like the people buying them. Just wondering if you had to drain that land off prior to building. Dean, I don't know if they are cloning people yet, but I don't think they are. Now, could they be? Sure. But this isn't the channel for that discussion. We would have to go to a different channel that talks about conspiracy theories. Also, the houses do not all look alike. They have similar models. If you followed the channel at all, there's several for you to choose from, along with the colors, etc. It's a active senior living area. Active, so of course, there's tons of places just like the villages out there, not to the scale or the amenities that the villages provide, but there are places out there, including you have single wide trailer parks, you have double wide trailer parks, you have regular places like on Top of the World, you have Summer Glen, you have Spruce Creek. There's tons of places out there, Dean. Check them out. This is perhaps one of my favorite comments here, and a great shout out. Robo Brio. When you fly, what altitude do you fly at most? Usually around the 400 mark. That's the max that you can go, 400 feet. When you're out drinking with your drone buddies, do you call each other pilot nicknames like Mavic, D-Bro, or Face? I'm going to be honest with you here, Robo Brio. I don't have any drone buddies, and I don't drink anymore. But if I did, my name would be Maverick, because I'm the best. And that might be why I don't have any drone buddies. Next one is from Dottie Morris. This is how you destroy a once beautiful state. Well, I'm glad, Dottie, that you can admit that Florida was once beautiful. It still is very beautiful if you go out into the countryside, like I mentioned. There are a lot of back roads in Florida, a lot of rural areas. My last house was just 20 minutes outside the villages, and I mean, it's all rural. There's huge oak trees, and it takes about 7 days for the power to get put back on after a storm comes through. I know from experience on multiple occasions. And then there's obviously the city areas. The villages is now just a huge city. I mean, it's huge. There's 200 plus thousand people that live there now. So I don't think the villages actually destroyed a once beautiful place. I just think they're taking up a little bit of farmland. Bill Pasaki. Who would live in these sheds? I have never seen uglier houses. Okay, Bill. These aren't sheds. Most of these are huge. A lot of huge square foot houses. Also, you have to understand what the villages is. Once again, I think people fail to realize that this is a retirement community and an active one. So people aren't looking for a huge dwelling to take care of. This isn't family housing. You don't have multiple people. At the most, usually it's 2 people staying there. Obviously, some villagers choose to have their kids move in, their older kids, or don't choose to, but are forced to have those kids move in. You know what I mean? And is in terms of uglier houses, I don't know where you're shopping, Bill. Snowy 16, how sad they are completely destroying this area. Again, I don't think so. Anonymous. I love anonymous comments. They're my favorite. Anonymous, which they created a channel named Anonymous. I'm sure to leave comments like this and to go and leave other great comments on other channels. More cookie cutter houses jammed so close you get to hear your neighbor take a crap. Take that in for a minute. They made a YouTube channel called Anonymous so that they could leave comments about neighbors taking craps and you being able to hear them. Not the case. You cannot, I can confirm 100%, you cannot hear your neighbor take a crap. However, I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. Anonymous again. That's just another small rural Sumter County, Florida community ruined. Sumter County, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sumter County before the villages came in, but there was nothing there. Wildwood was there. Wildwood didn't have a very nice police force. They also didn't have a great school. They still don't have a great school. Recently, Wildwood just said that they're pouring money into the downtown to reconstruct it. Where do you think that money's coming from? Sumter County just got a new sheriff's office just north of Wildwood off of 301. Where do you think that money's coming from? It's coming from the taxpayers in the villages. So before you say Sumter County, Florida community ruined, I would suggest maybe checking out the county before this happened. And actually, the one spring that was in the county is now in the middle of Fenney, and that habitat has been preserved where people can walk around and check it out. There's otters living down there. Florida otters. I mean, I don't know if it's ruined. Vicinal Victor. I think I'm saying that right. Big money to leave. Wow, to leave. I'm a teacher. Big money to live 10 feet away from your neighbor. No, thank you. No, thank you, Vic. It's not 10 feet. It's probably more like 30. Maybe I'll measure it next time that I'm out there just for you. I wanted to save the best for last. This comment was posted on 3 or 4 of my channels, and I would love to see what your thoughts on this are. Doc Brady, thank you for this golden nugget of information. Villages is a good place to live if you don't mind old, cranky, privileged people and one of the worst hospitals in the country. You don't want to do a business in Lady Lake, which is part of the villages. They're definitely anti-business, anti-religion, and bullies. Okay, so I'm going to say Doc Brady probably had a business, would be my guess, in Lady Lake, which is not part of the villages. Lady Lake is not part of the villages. It's a little township outside of the villages, number one. Number two, Lady Lake has expanded and grown since the villages arrived because, once again, like Sumter County, what I just talked about, tax dollars, the population, and everything else going into Lady Lake has been huge. I'm going to say Doc had a bad experience, number one. Number two, he left this on multiple channels, multiple videos that I made. If you don't mind old, cranky, privileged people and one of the worst, blah, 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 blah. Okay, Doc, old, cranky people, but you're the one leaving multiple comments like this on multiple videos. I don't know. That's going the extra mile there, buddy. I'm going to say I haven't met very many rude people in the villages. They're all retired, most of them, so they're all happy. Most of them go and check out entertainment. Very rare, and I've worked in the villages. I worked in the villages for 5 years. Very rare do you see somebody that's cranky or rude, and we all have those days. So give them a break, Doc. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, I will see you in the next one.